Yo, what is up guys, it's Sungod here, and a lot of you guys asked me to release a full VOD and my thought process when I'm going into this game, so yeah, here it is. The MMR of this game is Chelly/GM. So I'm playing Nidalee this game, and obviously as Nidalee, and especially like on the Chinese server, I want to look to get early plays going. I want to look to get some skirmishes because we have a really strong team when it comes to skirmishes. We have Draven, we have Nautilus, we have a Talon that can help me out fairly easily, can hard push and then help me out whenever I'm trying to make a play happen. And yeah, I decide to invade enemy bot side because we're very strong. They have a Kaisa, we have a Nautilus, we have a Draven, we're very strong. That's why I decided to invade. Alistar can't really do much level 1, he's basically a minion, so this is completely free for me. I decided to do the Grump as well. This is not, I'm not greeting here, I just want to make sure I'm pushing my lead as much as possible. Chances are enemy jungler is going to invade my top side. We have a ward on the Raptors, so we know exactly where the enemy jungler is going to be afterwards. Here I really wanted to avoid the ward, but hey, we work with what we have, right? So I see the echo on my Raptors. That basically means that he did not invade my top side, so this is really good news for me because now this gives me an opportunity to basically control the 3 quadrants of the map, right? Because now I know for a fact Echo is gonna go to my top side, so I want to make sure that I go over there and control my second quadrant. So I see Nasa's fairly low. I decide to push for a play here because I want Echo to come into me, and this is really good for me because I'm essentially like I'm putting pressure on the Echo. Echo had a plan to go onto my top side, but now he's basically left with like literally nothing. He is forced to go to my top side, right? Nidalee is much stronger than Echo like in the early game, so he can't really do much. I see my Nautilus trying to make a play happen on the Nasus. Didn't quite work out. I'm still careful because I know Echo could potentially be here, right? He has literally nothing to do right now. I took his 3 camps and his only option is to go for my top side or cheese my bot side, but yeah. I see Echo going towards bot side and getting a gank on the Draven, so he took option B, which is fine because I know now he's gonna go for Scuttle. I also want my bot side to be protected, so I'm basically telling the Nautilus to go defend it. I have a ward basically showing where Echo could potentially be, and here he is. Talon is pressuring him, so my team knows exactly that, you know, I'm Nidalee and I want to control the 3 quadrants of the map to make sure that, you know, enemy jungle is as far behind as possible. Here Echo completely trolls, by the way. Like he went on the red buff as opposed to Talon, so that was kind of troll of him. I'm pretty sure he was in range as well. Unlucky for him. GM, by the way. Anyways, taking the red buff here. So this is fine, right? Because now we have like a really good early game. Echo is a little bit in the gutter. Wasn't able to kill the Talon either, so I can just take my camps. I have a little bit of downtime here. It's really good for me. Here, I was thinking about just going for Raptors, but I see that my Nautilus is forcing a play. I don't really like this play because Echo is on a back timer, so he pretty much bought items. That's why I didn't really want to go for it, but I still get a kill on the Alistar. It's totally fine for me. Nasus flashes, but that's okay. Here I get the auto attack off. Really nice play for me, by the way. I don't really want to put me on a pedestal, but these kind of plays are pretty stressful, right? Because Nasus has this auto attack slow, and I had to make sure to wait up until the last very moment in order to auto attack and then get away from third range. So super worth it. I get my double kill, and also I'm able to get a lot of items here. So I'm very happy about that. Now I can go Sword Boots. I can start working towards my Lich Bane as well. Oh, here I don't go for Sword Boots. I immediately rush for my Lich Bane. That's also fun. Now I go onto my top side, obviously, because I don't want Echo to get any of my camps. I have a lead. I want to keep my lead. so I'm gonna make sure to farm my camps. Essentially what you're doing on Nidalee, and that's fairly important, is you want to make sure that you put a huge amount of pressure on the enemy jungler by essentially controlling, like I said, like in the early game, the 3 quadrants of the map, right? Because if the enemy jungler is only left with 1 quadrant, then he can't really do much, he can't farm much. He's gonna have some downtime, he's gonna force ganks, but there's absolutely no way any jungler can contest Nidalee, depending on the scenario, of course. Like if a later has priority and whatnot, like they could potentially do something. Here I take 1 Void Grub because it gives me a lot of XP, and I'm not deciding to go for all Void Grubs. I see that there's nothing else for me to do. I want to go for a top gank, but that's just not gonna happen. I'm not gonna smite this, I'm only gonna smite if Echo shows up. Echo does not show up, he shows up bot side, so I can just finish up my Void Grub and smite it away. I have to wait for my jump here. This is fine. Echo gets another kill, so that's a little bit rough for me. I don't really like playing against Echo all that much, especially like in the late game, because it always feels like, you know, you really screw them over like in the early game, but when it comes to like the mid to late game, they're able to just get their lead back because they're very safe, right, with their ult and the very low cooldown ult as well. I see that Volibear is quite pushed in, but this kill is very unlikely that we're gonna get, except if Volibear fully commits onto the Fiora, which he does here, so that's good news for me. I hit my spear, so I'm gonna keep my Q up until the very last moment because it does more damage. It's an execute, remember that. I'm very close to my Lich Bane here, but I don't really have anything else to farm. That's what I wanted to say, my bad. So I'm gonna go for my bot side here, and I'm gonna look to make some plays up until I get my Lich Bane. I really like Ionian Boots on Nidalee. I feel like it opens up a lot more than Sword Boots, especially when you're ahead and you go Ionian Boots. Your damage comes from your XP lead, as well as Lich Bane. You're able to proc it more often. So that's why I went for Ionian Boots here. If you're extremely ahead and you don't feel like you're gonna get too much value off of Sword Boots, you can go for Ionian Boots paired with like Lich Bane. It's a very valid option. Here the only reason why I'm helping Talon push is because he doesn't have mana, so he wants to look to back, right? So Drake is up, it's a little bit risky to go for it right now. I want to make sure I have full vision of the river. I don't want to be too closed in like in Drake Pit, because they could potentially just go on me. So I'm just decided to rush it, scout ahead before doing it, of course. Finish up the Drake, and afterwards we start controlling the river. Once we have the river, we can start making some plays happen on the Nasus that's like quite pushed in, or other lanes. I don't really care about bot side all that much right now. Like, I want to make sure that I get myself ahead. Draven is not that strong, so I want to make sure that the lanes I'm going to be ganking are the lanes that are going to give me the most value off, right? Gonna finish my wolves. I'm always like, a little tip I can give you guys, and I know that a lot of my high-elo students or high-elo viewers do that already, but I feel like it's a good tip, is to always look at your minimap, especially when you're doing your camps, right? Because when you're doing your camps, you shouldn't be looking at your camp or abilities. You should always be looking at the minimap and adapt based on the scenario, right? There's a lot of information that you could be missing if you're not looking at the minimap, even for a split second. So make sure that you always pay attention to the minimap, even when you move like in the jungle. Like, just have your eyes fixed on the minimap, except if there is like something happening right in front of you. But yeah, get this habit to always look at your minimap. And if you're really good at the game, you can also look at your minimap while you're fighting for potential flanks. This is quite a hard skill to master, but have the habit to always do this. So here we're 501. Anyways, here we're extremely ahead. I have my Lich Bane, I have 4 Dark Steel stacks, I have my Onion Boots, I have more gold than enemy jungle. I'm very fed, so this is the time when you want to make plays that are important. So if I look at the objectives or I look at the potential skirmishes, I see that Echo is bot side and I don't want to reveal myself because that's the whole point, right? If you reveal yourself, he would be reluctant to go on the town here, but because I didn't, we blew his ulti, and now that his ult is down, we're able to force other plays. I look at the Kai'Sa, that's extremely low, Talon's also going for it, so it's just a super free kill. Kai'Sa is just dead here, no matter what. We can take our time here, there's no need to int. I'm just gonna rain down auto attacks on her, she can't dodge that, so it's just a free kill. We take the tower for completely free, I don't need to take the platings, it's a waste of time. Why? Because I have other things I want to do on the map. Echo is most likely on Void Grab by now, but hey, I just want to force some plays. The best play here would have been to just go for Void Grab straight up, but I'm still getting value from this. I got 2 kills, so it's not all that bad for me. Since I know that Echo is doing Void Grab here, I wanna contest it. I wanna be extremely careful here. And I predict that Alistar is going to flash on me, so again, that's a nice play. I'm just gonna go in and kite out, make sure that I'm getting at least a kill here. But yeah, like if I didn't flash here, I would very most likely die because I would get bursted out by Echo as well as Volibear. Fura gets a double kill, so it's nice. So when the enemy jungler is down like that, guys, so make sure to ship away all his kills so that when he respawns, he doesn't have anything to farm. That much is obvious, right? But a lot of players would not be doing this. So here, we're extremely ahead. We're 8-0-1. We have 10 Dark Steel stacks, so of course we're most likely gonna go Magi-Eyes. But it really depends, right? Sometimes you're gonna get more value out of going for other items than Magi-Eyes. Like for example, like Liandry's if you really need it, if everyone's like building a lot of HP, or Void Staff if they're building like a lot of MR, or Zhonya's if you absolutely need it. Like for example, if people have point and click CC or point and click abilities like ZR for example, or Pantheon W, that's when I would opt to go for Zhonya's. This is a very free kill. Completely missed my spear, by the way. Should get reported for that. And we can just take the tower. We can get 2 platings as well. So yeah, here there's nothing I can really do. Nasus is just gonna hit 3 Qs on me and I'm just dead, but that's okay. So here I was actually really thinking about going for Zhonya's, right? Not Zhonya's, but Magi-Eyes, but because I died, it's not that worth it. It's not a very safe option, and I want to go for Banshees because I think Nasus W is extremely annoying and there's nothing I can really do against it except if I go for Banshees. Defensive options on Nidalee is extremely strong as a 2nd to 3rd item. Especially when you're ahead, it's basically gonna make sure that you're staying ahead. So Zhonya's Banshees as a 2nd item is really good. You can even go for Liandry's, like I stated, as a 2nd item if they don't really have like any threatening abilities. But in this case, they do. So I got a kill here with my trap. That was really funny actually. I still remember this. Anyways, we're gonna do 2nd Drake here. Nothing really to talk about here. But yeah, when you're ahead, make sure that you're doing your objectives. Like recently, I coached a student that was 31 kills on Gwen, and he actually lost the game. Well, his team wasn't performing all too well, but he lost the game because he was completely dismissing all objectives, right? And even if you're extremely ahead, objectives are still very strong, like especially Soul, especially Elder or Baron. They can really change the tides of a game, so make sure that you use your lead to to do all objectives. It's more important than kills more often than not. When you're fed, another advice that I can give you guys is to not overplay. Make sure that you're picking fights that are favorable for you and not necessarily like force fights, right? Because the enemy wants you to force fights, wants you to like make a mistake, and they're gonna instantly punish this. When you're ahead, like you're allowed to choose your fights, whereas the enemy team is not allowed to do so because they're behind, right? So make sure you always consider this. You play patiently, no matter like how fed you are. You see, like in this game, I'm 9-1-2, but I'm still not like in their face. I'm not necessarily like overplaying it. So I see the Volibear here, so it's a really free kill. See, like this display is very low risk. I don't really, there's no real risk for me going for this, right? So I'm just gonna go for it. I know Echo is not around either, so it's completely fine. I gotta defend bot turret though, so I'm gonna immediately recall. I have my Banshees. So here the reason as to why I didn't buy an item is because, yeah, I fucked up. Like I really wanted to protect bot tower, and I didn't have enough gold for Zhonya's altogether. But yeah, it just shows how important tempo is, right? Just because like 1 extra second can really change the tides of a game. And in this case, it was pretty important that I get out of base like as fast as possible. Unfortunately, they got the tower, because Nasus Echo are really fast at taking towers, but still got the wave. It is worth it in my book. Completely messed up my jump here. You did not see this. I guarantee it. Alright, mid tower is the next priority. We really want to take mid tower because it really opens up the map, and if we open up the map, we're going to be able to make more plays happen. I'm going to hover around people, especially the Fiora or the Talon. That's what you want to do like in the mid game. Depending on like how the game goes, like if you're on Nidalee, for example, like the best thing you can do is that, especially if you're fed, you wanna hover around your teammates. You want to wait for an opportunity. Here in this case I have Herald, so we're guaranteed to take the tower. They can't really defend either. So we get the tower. I want to get like a second charge here. I'm gonna play very passively. I know that Alistar can't go on me because I have Banshees. Kaisa is pretty much free food here. Either she dodges bot and I get my spear, or she dodges top and then she gets hit by Nautilus hook. So that was a really good hook by Nautilus. This hits. Yeah, see, so far guys, I'm not over pushing plays, I'm not doing anything crazy. Like, I'm just taking the free kills, just punishing whenever they're overstepping. I'm still doing a lot of damage because I have this XP lead, right? I'm level 13, my mid laner is level 11, so it's only right that I'm doing this much damage, even with defensive items like Banshees. And like I said, I was depending on going Zhonya's afterwards. So now we have 3.1k gold, it's still fine, we're very strong, we're level 13, so I don't necessarily need to back here, there's no point, there's stuff to do on the map. Two players are dead, so I have to use this downtime to do something. Just because you have some gold in your inventory doesn't mean like you have to back, right? Here we get a free inhib, so this is totally good for us. So now of course I have 3.3k gold. I'm gonna look to buy something. I could go for Rabadons here, I could go for Magi's, I could go for a lot of different items, but I'm gonna be opting to go Zhonya's to make sure that I protect my shutdown, I protect my lead. So now I have 2 defensive items, I still have a good amount of AP, right? 430 AP is nothing to laugh at. It's really hard to punish me, because even if they hit me with CCs, I have Banshee, and if they try to run me over, I still have Zhonya, so I'm able to make some aggressive plays while being ahead. So Drake is spawning here. Unfortunately, like, my team died right before the Drake, so this is also like a big mistake my team did. They overplayed even though they were ahead. Yeah, so even though my team was ahead here, they took a fight they shouldn't have taken, and I got punished because of that, because obviously I wasn't able to go for Drake here, even though I wanted to. And yeah, we lost Drake just because of that, right? This is out of my control. Here my Draven dies. Game isn't looking all that good right now, especially because I'm extremely fed, but my team keeps giving away shutdowns or deaths that they should not be giving. So at that point, you know, like the plan remains the same. Try to go for catches, hover people, play around the Nautilus, look to do objectives whenever they're dead. So objectives can be Baron, Drake, towers, anything. But we're still extremely ahead, so we don't really have to worry about anything. So I'm gonna be playing chill here. I can't really go in because Nasus is still extremely tanky. I do kill the Alistar though, so that's great. I want to focus the squishy targets. I can't kill the Nessus quite yet. I have my Zonia, so I'm still chilling. I can use my flash. I'm gonna be playing this extremely patiently. Use my Zonias at the very last second to kind of bait the Volibear to go in, right? And yeah, I got rewarded for playing well here. I was debating on using Zonias instead of flash, but my teammate got a kill because of it, so I'm not malding about it. So next objective, Volibear is dead. My team is doing quite well. It's obviously getting Baron, so my eyes are just fixated on Baron. I want to make sure that I'm getting that. I'm just gonna do my camps and hopefully look to get Baron as fast as possible. So yeah, right now we're just hovering around Baron, looking to get a pick. My Talon dies though. This is what I was talking about. Echo is very annoying in the mid to late game, because now he's able to really one-shot people at no real risk. I'm sure I was probably gonna get the kill here. I didn't want to steal that. Echo gets another kill, still has ult, so I want to make sure to not step in his ult. I do have my Banshees here. I use my W to sidestep because I don't want to lose my Banshee, because obviously Echo W does negate your Banshee. Any spell counts. Again, my team keeps dying right before objectives, and at that point I'm getting like a little bit annoyed, because obviously, you know, like Talon should not be alone. We're fed. We have a lot of pressure on the map, but every single time like they're dying, so it's again here there's nothing really happening. A game is really stale, so I cut like this little part. But I'm like at this point I'm pretty frustrated because the win is very, very easy, but my team just refused to cooperate, and finally they do decide to start Baron. Echo is really, really dangerous whenever he's around Baron, because obviously like he's able to go for Baron at no risk, right, with his ult. But we do get Baron, thankfully. I go in, try to kill the Alistar, and do kill him. And then we can go onto the Nasus. He's extremely fucking strong, by the way. He's able to kill 2 people despite us surrounding him, so that was kind of crazy. But now I have my Crib Bloom, so I'm able to really dish out a lot of damage, whether it's on the Nasus or other people. And you see, like, no matter how well I played like the early game against the Echo, he was still able to catch up. He was still able to get a lot of kills. That's why I really dislike playing against this champion, because he is just really, really annoying to deal with, especially like in the late game. At this point, like, I would say Echo is stronger than me. Even if I'm 15-1-6 and I have 4 items with my boots, like, Echo is most definitely stronger than me, even with 3 items, just because that's the design of the champion, right? He's able to one-shot people at no risk, so it's really, really dangerous, and I want to be looking to to be as passive aggressive as possible. Like in those fights, I don't want to push out my luck. I want to make sure I have my Banshees up at all times before I make a play happen. My Nasus goes towards my Draven. Draven Kaise really well here, so very proud of him. Good job. So they managed to kill the Echo. I'm not really sure how they did that, to be honest, but my Fiora is still very fed. That was a really nice Q from me. And we end up killing all of them and ultimately end the game. One scenario, one time where Echo was being punished, Nasus was away from their team. My team was essentially focusing on other people as well, so I was able to just pick out targets one by one, and now we're able to just end the game. We're able to end the game even if it's on 5 seconds because we have a Fiora, we have a Nidalee, so I'm doing like 500/1000 damage per auto attacks and Qs with Lich Bane procs. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.